Welcome back to Educator.com's application essay course. This lesson is the second part of our two-part series on the actual writing of the essay, and it's about how to write the middle and the end of your essay. Let's get started. Okay, we're going to begin with an overview. We're going to start with the 3 parts of a good essay. We love things that come in 3, so I'm going to tell you the 3 parts. Then we're going to talk about how to arrange your details, because the middle of your essay is very much about your details, your examples, your supporting data. So we're going to talk about how to arrange those, both in terms of structure and in terms of pacing, which is very important. Then we're going to talk about how to write a winning conclusion. Conclusions actually give writers more trouble than almost any other part of the essay, except maybe the beginning, because you get to the end and you're like, well, I've said everything. Well, we're going to talk about how to write a really good conclusion. We're going to talk about echoes and callbacks. We're going to talk about how conclusions evolve from the thesis statement. And finally, as always, we're going to talk about having fun. Okay, the 3 parts of a good essay. This gets drummed into writers' heads. First of all, tell your readers what you're going to tell them. Second of all, then tell them what you're telling them. Third, tell them what you've told them. And fourth, whatever you do, don't repeat yourself. Okay, what does that actually mean? Well, that means when you start your essay, you are going to tell them the main idea at some point in the introduction. The details are going to be a reiteration with more specific elements of that main idea. And at the conclusion, you're going to sum it all up and remind them just in case they weren't paying attention. But those 3 things cannot be the same. You can't just keep repeating yourself over and over, or people get really, really bored. So, what do you do? Well, when you get to the middle, it's all about details. Details, details, details. So the middle or body of your essay is where you use details to support your main point or to tell your story. You've got your bang-up opening out of the way, and now you need to deliver on your promise. You need to show them why you're right, or how your story is true, or why this subject is interesting. So you have to structure those details correctly. This is one of those things where if you do your job right, your reader will never realize how much work went into it. That's how you can tell good writing. It looks easy. So, how do you structure your details correctly? Well, first of all, begin with one of your 2 strongest points. Now, you will probably have at least 2 or 3 main ideas in the course of your brainstorming process. You're going to pick out the strongest ones to put in your essay, but even out of that group, you'll probably have 1 or 2 that are stronger and especially simpler than the others. Start with one of the 2 strongest that's also one of the simplest, okay? You want strong and simple to start out with, because that will convince people that this person really knows what they're doing. They've really got a lot of ammunition. I am in good hands reading this essay. Now, if some of your points are stronger than others, that means that the others will be weaker than the stronger ones. So you take the weaker points and you put them in the middle. They can hide a little bit better there. Now again, this is a relative thing. You want all of your points to be pretty strong. But if you have to pick and choose, the ones that are not quite as pretty strong as the others, they go in the middle where things kind of start to blur together and the momentum is going and your reader just keeps reading. And finally, end on the other of your 2 strongest points, especially if it's one that flows from the other points. So you start off really strong, you can coast just a little bit in the middle if you absolutely have to, and then you end really strong.